Dear students, in the last session, you have studied about ecological succession. In this session, you are going to study about the another function of ecosystem, that is nutrient cycles. Why does the nutrients traverse in a cyclic manner? So why can we find the nutrients are being circulated, they are being traveled in a cyclic manner between biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem. Nutrients are the inorganic substances. Nutrients are the inorganic substances. They are the usable form of the elements which are required. These nutrients are being required by the living organisms for their growth as well as metabolic activities. Hence, these nutrients which are being required for the living organisms are called as biogenetic nutrients. They are called as biogenetic nutrients. These nutrients are being obtained by the living organisms from the earth. So hence, these chemicals or the nutrients, so they are also known as biogeochemicals. So they are also called as biogeochemicals. Bio means living organisms require the nutrients. From where do they get? It is from the different components of the earth. It might be from the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere. Okay, so nutrients are being required by the biotic components of an ecosystem for various metabolic activities. They require, and those nutrients are being obtained from the earth. So hence they are called as biogeochemicals. These nutrients move in a cyclic manner, travel in a cyclic manner. So the movement of the nutrients in cyclic manner between biotic and abiotic components of any ecosystem are called nutrient cycles. The movement of the nutrients, the cyclic movement of nutrients between biotic and abiotic components of any ecosystem are called as nutrient cycles. Nutrient cycles are also known as biogeochemical cycles. They are also called as biogeochemical cycles. Nutrient cycles are also known as biogeochemical cycles. See, these nutrients, they are found in the non-living components of an ecosystem, and from that they move to the living components. They utilize them, that is living organisms utilize them. After their utilization, again by various process, so it will be released back again to the abiotic component. So it travels in cyclic manner. So these nutrients, the inorganic substances, the chemicals, so they are being classified: micronutrients, macronutrients. The nutrients which are required in a trace amount, they are called as micronutrients. Macronutrients are those which are required in large amount by the living organisms. The biogeochemical cycles has two components, two important components or pools. So that is reservoir pool and exchange pool or cycling pool. There are two components. One is reservoir pool and another is exchange pool. Reservoir pool is the part of the biogeochemical cycle that includes non-living components and movement of the chemical substances, the nutrients are slow. Yes, it is slow. And in reservoir pool, we could find that it is the reservoir of nutrients. Reservoir of nutrients. It includes atmosphere, hydrosphere, yes, lithosphere. So it is that part of the biogeochemical cycle which includes non-living components and the movement of nutrients is slow, and it is the reservoir of nutrients. So that part is called as, that component of biogeochemical cycle is called as reservoir pool. The next is exchange pool or cycling pool. It is that part, exchange pool or cycling pool is that part of the biogeochemical cycle which includes non-living component. It includes living components. It includes living components. And the exchange, the release, movement of substances is fast. It is rapid. Yes. So it includes living components, living organisms. So between these two components there will be the movement, circulation of these nutrients. So when the nutrients move from reservoir pool to the exchange pool, that is living organisms, they take in the nutrients from the reservoir pool. Yes, from, it might be from atmosphere or hydrosphere or lithosphere for various metabolic activities. That taking up of the nutrients, that process is called as fixation. It is called as fixation. And these living organisms which are the part of the exchange pool, they utilize various nutrients for their metabolic activities. After the utilization by various biological activities, they are again released back from exchange pool to the reservoir pool, and it is called as recycling. So this cyclic movement of nutrients, between biotic and abiotic components of any ecosystem, it is called as biogeochemical cycle. The biogenetic nutrients, they travel in a cyclic manner. So they travel in cyclic manner. Biogeochemical cycles are of two types. There are two types of biogeochemical cycle, gaseous cycle and sedimentary cycle. The biogeochemical cycles in which atmosphere or hydrosphere is the reservoir pool. So, a biogeochemical cycle in which atmosphere or hydrosphere, it is the reservoir pool. Such a type of the biogeochemical cycle or nutrient cycle are called as gaseous cycle. Carbon is an example for the gaseous cycle. Yes. So, gaseous cycle are also called as, they are called as perfect cycles. Why? Because gaseous cycles are called as perfect cycle. During the time of the fixation, utilization of the amount of nutrients utilized by the living organisms for their metabolic activities, almost the same amount of the nutrients will be released back from exchange pool to the reservoir pool. See, whatever the amount of nutrients which has been utilized by living organisms present in exchange pool from reservoir pool, almost the same amount will be released back to the reservoir pool. So, then that cycle is called as perfect cycle. Gaseous cycles are called as perfect cycles. Sedimentary cycle, the second type of biogeochemical cycle, it is a sedimentary cycle. The type of the biogeochemical cycle in which the reservoir pool is a lithosphere, earth crust. Yes. So, such a cycle is called as sedimentary cycle. For example, the phosphorus. Yes, the rocks are the reservoir pool. So, such a cycle is called as sedimentary cycle. And sedimentary cycles are also known as, they are called as imperfect cycles. So, they are called as imperfect cycles. Why? Because first, during the time of fixation, whatever the amount of the nutrients, biogenetic nutrients will be utilized by the living organisms, some amount of them will be logged within the body of organisms. See, for example, phosphorus is being utilized by the living organisms, okay, for various activities, but they are not being released back to the reservoir pool after many years. So, they will be released back, okay. So, they get locked within the body of living organisms. Whatever the amount of nutrients which will be utilized by the living organisms will not be released back to the reservoir pool, because some amount gets logged in the body of living organisms. Nutrient immobilization is seen here. Immobile means what? Nutrients will not move, they get logged into the body of living organisms. So, hence called as imperfect cycles. So, as an example for a gaseous cycle, you will study the carbon cycle as an example for your syllabus, and as an example for sedimentary cycle, you will study phosphorus cycle. With respect to the nutrient cycle, one term you will already you have studied, that is standing state. What is standing state? The amount of inorganic substances present in the soil, growth medium of any ecosystem is called as standing state. You have come across standing crop, standing state. What is a standing state? The amount of the nutrients, inorganic substances present in the growth medium of the any ecosystem is called as standing state. So these nutrients are inorganic substances, usable form of the elements. So they are being required, okay, by the living organisms. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, yes, nitrogen, phosphorus, all these are being required. What for? So for example, our DNA, okay, deoxyribonucleic acid. So DNA, RNA, yes, body is made up of carbohydrates, proteins, all that. Okay, so to bodybuilding, for various metabolic activities, these nutrients are being required. So now you will study about this biogeochemical cycle. So next you will study about phosphorus cycle. Why is phosphorus required by the living organism? What is its importance? Yes, you will come across. Phosphorus, it is an important micronutrient. Phosphorus is an important micronutrient required by the living organisms. It is a component of nucleic acids, cellular energy transfer like ATP, NADP, ADP, as well as phosphorus is also required by the animals for their, yes, bones, for making of bones, shells, yes, teeth, okay, we could find it is a component. So phosphorus, which is a micronutrient, is required by the living organisms. Okay. So this phosphorus is an example for which type of the biogeochemical cycle? It is the sedimentary cycle, which is an imperfect cycle. It is an example for imperfect cycle. So the first step in the phosphorus cycle, it is fixation. So the fixation in case of phosphorus cycle, it is a non-biological process. Through a non-biological process called by the weathering of rocks, the phosphorus is being released, okay, into the soil in the form of phosphates. Is released into the soil in the form of phosphates and get dissolved. So now the living organisms takes phosphorus in the form of phosphate. So this is a schematic representation of a phosphorus cycle. So why does phosphorus travel in a cyclic manner? Because you know that the phosphorus has been required by the living organisms for the building up of the bones, shells and all, importance. Cellular energy transfer compounds like ATP it is required, ADP, NADP. So the first step, it is a non-biological process and that is called as weathering of rocks. By the weathering of rocks, okay, so here reservoir pool for the phosphorus cycle is the earth crust, lithosphere, it is a rock. By the non-biological process weathering, so phosphorus is being released in the form of phosphates into the soil, and now the phosphates are being present in the dissolved form in the form of soil solution. So from the soil solution, the producers, the plants, they take in the, see here, they take in the phosphorus. Take in phosphorus, they take phosphates present within the soil solution, and these producers convert the phosphates into the organic form, that is they prepare the food. So then there occurs a food chain. So from the producers it will be travelled to the consumers. Consumers, animals feed on, herbivores feeds on the producers. So the phosphates present within the producers is being travelled to the consumers. So when these consumers, animals, herbivores, they die, when the producers, plants, they die, so it forms detritus, dead remains of plants and animals. Both herbivores, animals and the plants, their body is made up of phosphates. When the detritus undergoes process of decomposition, what is the definition of decomposition? The conversion of complex organic compounds into simple inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water and release of nutrients. So nutrients again will be released back into the soil. Yes, one rock is the reservoir pool. So from that the phosphates is been released into the soil. So from the soil the phosphates are being taken up by the plants. Plants undergoes photosynthesis. Okay, so that phosphates will be converted into organic form and the herbivores feed on the plants. What is this litter fall? Litter fall means the dried forms of the plant material. Okay, dried part of the plant material, the twigs, leaves, barks, that all constitute the litter fall. So when both the group of organism, plants and the animals die, so that detritus which is having the phosphates, okay, so it will be that detritus will be converted, undergoes decomposition and release of phosphates back again into the soil. You can see here one more arrow mark and is called as runoff. It is called as runoff. What is that runoff? See here. When the soil contains the phosphates, phosphor in the form of phosphates, during the irrigation or during heavy rains, what happens, sometime large amount of the top soil will be washed out and gets mixed into the water bodies like oceans. So now the oceans has the phosphates, large amount of phosphates. They are taken up by the seaweeds. So now it enters into the seaweeds. In aquatic ecosystem there occurs a food chain, phytoplanktons. Okay, are eaten by the zooplanktons. Zooplanktons are eaten by the small fishes. Small fishes are eaten by the seabirds. So the phosphates which are present within the seaweeds, they are being eaten eaten by the zooplanktons. So now it enters zooplanktons. So zooplanktons are in turn eaten up by the small fishes. Small fishes are in turn eaten by the seabirds. So now phosphates enter into the body of seabirds. Now seabirds have the phosphates in them. They excrete the phosphor rich fecal matter excreta and is called as guano. It is called as guano. So guano is the excreta rich in phosphates, phosphorus. So that is called as guano deposited by the seabirds. And here phosphorus cycle is called as imperfect cycle because whatever the amount of the phosphorus will be utilized by the living organisms, so some amount will be remained within the body of animals. Why? Because teeth, bones, or it might be the shells, even after their death, so decomposition of such things takes a very long duration. Okay, so we can't find what the same amount will not be released back to the reservoir pool. So hence nutrient immobilization is seen here. So hence phosphorus cycle is considered to be an imperfect cycle. Okay, only small amount of the nutrients will be released back from the exchange pool to the reservoir pool. So phosphorus cycle is an sedimentary cycle. One mark question can be asked. Give an example for gaseous cycle once it was asked, or give an example for sedimentary cycle, or what are gaseous cycle, what is sedimentary cycle. In the next session you will study an example for the gaseous cycle, that is carbon cycle. Thank you.